my
that product hunt launch, did you have any paid subscription plans at that moment? So did you generate any customers, or your goal was to run some demo calls with them or beta tests and add them to early bird lists, or did you try to pre-sell your product?
So no pre-sale. So when we launched, it was December of 2017. Yeah, December of 2017 that we launched on Product Hunt. We still didn't have a paid product for about 4 months after that. So everybody was on a free trial. They were able to free test, free beta account for those 4 months, and they were able to trial it. We did end up seeing some people convert 4 months later that came from Product Hunt. So tracking them through that funnel to where they actually converted 4 months later when we launched our full paid product. So it did end up, I guess the answer to the question, it did end up generating some paid clients later on.
Got it. And did you implement any kind of onboarding, or they had just a raw MVP so they could just sign up and test it without getting any onboarding tips?
Exactly. Like, what was the activation? If you got onboarding, what was the activation for you? What was the aha moment if you had one?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would almost treat this as two different questions. So we're definitely a marketing-driven company. We don't do any outbound sales, and we're at a product point. Yeah, we're at a product price point of about $100 per month per user. So an average customer spend per month is about $100 per user. So we can't do heavy onboarding. We can't reach out to every client and say, okay, let's go through the process. So we automate a lot of that. So there's regular email chains that go out, regular workflows when you log in that say, hey, here's how you set up a user, and we'll walk you through on how to set up a user, and so on. So we automate a lot of the onboarding flow. And then I guess the activation metrics that we look at, and what would tell us that this is a good account versus or a qualified account versus a less qualified account. I would say the major ones are, have they added users to their account? So has this person gone in, added their tracking script to the website, and then added users? Did they add any integrations? So are they integrating it with their current CRMs or their marketing automation platforms? And then we look at any other like smaller, are they creating custom reports? Are they creating custom email notifications, and so on? So those are generally the activation metrics we look at while automating that onboarding and trying to push them towards those activation metrics without us having to pick up the phone and onboard them.
What I'm also wondering, when you generated these 400 first users or beta testers, my question is, did they or have they already used a similar software like Lead Feeder, Lead Forensics, or Albacross, or they were, let's say, newbies to IP identification software?
So a lot of our clients to date are new to the software. So while those companies have been out for a while, this is a very large market. Any B2B company across the globe could utilize us. There's millions that would be potential clients for us. So most of our clients aren't shopping around or coming from an existing software, and most of the beta users was the same story.
Got it. Perfect. A question not related to initial growth stage, but it just pumped in my head. I was wondering, because nowadays everybody is working from home. I'm actually a user of Albacross. I use it for myself, for my clients, and I saw that lots of data is incorrect nowadays because people are working from home. Did you notice the same at your platform? I don't know how it's going. I assume it's the same in Canada and US, but did you notice that lots of companies or accounts are visiting from their private IPs? And is there any opportunity to track somehow which accounts they belong?
Yeah, we're first going to have to switch you over to visitor queue, and we can definitely set up a free trial for you. Less of a sales call, but I'll just throw that out there first.
Oh, you're not
if I didn't do that,
You're not only a marketer, you're also a salesman. I see that. Ah, okay.
Yeah. I guess I am when I have to be.
Okay.
But with people working from home a lot of the time, so we do see a decrease in the amount of, across the board, every company in our category is going to see a decrease in the amount of companies that we're able to identify, because we do rely on which network are you on when you're accessing, right? But we haven't seen a real drop in clients because they realize that, and they are still seeing a number of leads come through. So while the percentage that we're identifying from their traffic might be lower, all of our accounts are still seeing leads that they would have missed otherwise. And one thing to note there as well is not everybody's working from home, right? There are a number of companies that are essential across the globe that still need to go into the office, or that choose to still go into the office even if they can work from home. And the last point there is, when a lot of times when these companies are registering their VPNs and so on to help people work from home and their networks to work from home, those are also registered to the company. So that allows us to identify that user as well as from that company. Yeah.
Got it. Perfect. Nick, I have a question which is also interested for many startup founders. What was your revenue when you hired your first employer, your first team member? Because here is a tricky thing, you need, in order to grow, you need to delegate. You need to start grow your team. But it's really hard to understand who should be your first team member. So and when it's the right time to hire this person. So my question is, who was your first hire, and what was your revenue level when you hired this person?
So so our actual first employee only lasted 3 weeks, and that was my mistake. So we hired a salesperson, and this was before. And you learn as you go, and I obviously learned quite a few lessons as I went. I made a ton of mistakes, but this was one where we learned that our product wasn't at the price point where you could justify a salesperson, and we learned the hard way by hiring someone. I also, at that point, was hiring fast and firing fast, and not considering to hire slower, go through that process, really flush out individuals before hiring. But so that was the first hire we made. Revenue was probably $3,000 to $4,000 per month that we were bringing in. I was working for free. We were paying this person a base plus commission. And then after that, probably 2 months later, after that person had come and gone, I would say I was the first employee, technically speaking, and revenue was probably $5,000 per month. And then 3 months after that, we hired our first developer. He's a senior developer, and revenue was probably $7,000 or $8,000 per month at that point. And where we justified it is we looked at, okay, what does the company need? What's the most urgent thing within this roadmap and our strategic plan? And I could take care of marketing, I could take care of sales, so that really, and demoing when we needed to. So that really blocked off that part, and it fulfilled that need. The other need we needed, and where we saw, was we needed a lot of upgrades to our software and our system. So it just made sense to bring on a full software developer. So what I recommend is, when you're considering where do I hire next, or what's the next step for the company, you look at, okay, what's the most urgent top 3 issues? Is it clients are mad about this feature, and this feature? Okay, then you probably need someone to come in and work on those features quicker.
Perfect, thank you. You mentioned that nowadays you are in charge of marketing and you have a content writer, correct?
Yep.
And in terms of content marketer, do you have a fixed-based compensation plan, and it's a full-time team member, or you just pay per article and per content promotion?
Per article. So they're a part-time, and it's per article that we pay.
And who is in charge of, because you mentioned that inbound is your core channel, and who is in charge of content distribution costs? Writing a great content is just 20% of success, and you need to get target traffic? So who is in charge of content distribution?
That would be our marketing manager, Ken, that looks after posting it and ensuring that it's distributed correctly across networks.
Okay, got it. I was wondering, you decided to launch raw MVP on Product Hunt, and you collected the feedback. And my question is, how did you decide what should be the next set of features? In what order you should develop these features?
So I don't know if I recommend this for a lot of companies, but what we did was, when looking early on at features, it was what were people willing to pay for. So when someone was like, okay, I'm going to convert, but I need this, whatever feature it was, and if we could validate that multiple other clients needed that as well, we would build it out based on that. A lot of times people will say, I need this, but they don't actually need it, or they're not willing to pay. So you have to be careful about who you're taking your feedback from. So I'd say we looked at what were people actually willing to pay for, and were other clients also looking for that, and you see that being part of this long-term strategic plan on what you build out.